Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and this is a story that I missed. And I don't often miss these stories, but there's a reason I missed this story, because the media totally buried it. They completely buried it amongst other headlines. And what we're going to be talking about is the actress behind me, Bella Thorne, who was a Disney kid, wrote a book and said some pretty astonishing things about her time there as an actress. Now, here's the thing. I've become more and more aware of especially Disney and Nickelodeon and the allegations of what happens to their stars. Okay? And obviously, I'm a big promoter of an open secret and other material that exposes this. And one of the reasons that the Me Too movement is and was simply window dressing on a much larger and bigger issue is the inability for people to understand that in large part this entertainment industry built around children is to pimp them out. To pimp them out. And we're talking young. We're not just talking the tween age girls. Wait till you hear what this girl has to say. Now, I was unaware of Bella Thorne. She's a huge actress at this point, by the way. Huge actress, and I guess she had some show with another little girl named Zendaya on the Disney Channel. Now that I take care of my nieces, I'm more and more aware of what's on Nickelodeon and what's on the Disney Channel. But I'll be real. I don't like it. I usually do not allow it, and we'll get into that more later. In fact, those two networks are not really shown much in my house. I go to the Cartoon Network. It's not the best, but at least they're not real children that are going to grow up and be messes like Bella Thorne. And that's not to dig at this woman at all. She's been through a lot. So anyway, these are what the headlines read. Okay, Bella Thorne receives love and support from Zendaya. I guess that's the girl she worked with. Lucy Hale and more stories amid nude photo controversy. I guess somebody hacked some nude photos of her. They were going to put them online. She put them online otherwise, and she started crying, and Whoopi Goldberg and other people went out of her. Typical celebritard nonsense. It's like whatever. That's a non-story to me. But do you think somebody's going to have some problems in their sexuality when they have this type of thing occur to them? Now, I'm warning everybody that's watching this. And by the way, Port Film Co-op, thank you so much for the super chat. Here's the deal. This is graphic. She curses a lot in this. We're probably going to stop it several times to point out what she's saying. But this little girl, okay, and that's what she was, a little girl. There she is, and this is the Zendaya girl, a little girl. Why was this not a headline? Why was this not a headline?
I mean, if you read the book, you'll be like, transitioning from Disney to this was fucking easy. I don't know. Getting molested for fucking from your 6 to your 14 seems like way harder circumstances, or being physically abused all the time seems like a...
Let me stop you right there. So they're asking her about the effects of fame and the paparazzi since she was around 12 years old, because that's when her fame started to take off. In other words, the press following her. And she's like, hey, lunatic, let's come back to the real world. If you read my book, that's a cakewalk, because from the time I was 6 fucking years old, I was being passed around to these predators. And she's going to tell you everybody around her knew about it. Everybody around her knew about it. Who did anything? Nobody. No, it's the entertainment industry. You don't do anything.
Much more difficult situation than fucking have paparazzi following you since you were 12. I don't know. I was still being molested when paparazzi were still fucking following me.
Oh.
So it's pretty hard in my mind to think about these big flashlight photographs and everyone thinking they know me and talking about me, but having no idea the type of mistreatment that I was still dealing with at that time.
So, again, she said 6 to 14 years old. And she's like, what are you, paparazzi? Deal with that. I'm more worried about the fact that I was getting molested from the time I was 6. I want to throw up. I want to puke. And you can go and you can find some of these pictures of her. You know, even if you look at what I put here in the, she 9 or 10 years old in there? And that's one of the photographs that's not as sexualized. I mean, this kid was absolutely sexualized as a child. Okay, period. I'm going to let her finish it up. Everybody around her knew.
That everyone around me saw and did nothing. So I don't know. You tell me what's so hard. Because that to me, way harder than any other of this other shit that I do on a daily basis.
There you go. You know, I don't know much about this girl. I don't know much about her stuff, but I really like what she had to say there. It's got to be extremely disturbing. Let me explain to you how the press deals with stuff like this. Okay? So we're going to talk about Nickelodeon for a minute. Now, these are supposedly the worst Nickelodeon scandals. Whitewashes is what they are. Look up Amanda Bynes and the allegations she made about her father and others. Okay? They're not in here. She just went crazy. She just couldn't handle it all. Okay? We're going to talk about Jeanette McCurdy in a minute when we talk about Schneider's Bakery and a guy named Dan Schneider. And if you don't know about a guy named Dan Schneider, well, you're going to learn about a guy named Dan Schneider real soon. And Dan Schneider may or may not be connected to Jamie Lynn Spears, who, I don't know, got pregnant at the age of 16. They don't tell you by who. And the Nickelodeon, they canceled that show a little bit later. Wait, Dan Schneider works for Nickelodeon? He was a second-rate actor in the 80s and was on a show called Head of the Class, and he started writing and producing some of the biggest kids' television shows in the world. And by the way, you look at these top three, they're all real issues of young girls basically being prostituted by children's television networks, okay? And then, you know, they try to slip in like, ooh, a 22-year-old actor was caught with a 17-year-old girl. I'm not trying to excuse that, but that's far from the scandals we just learned, correct? Bella Thorne, you know, a Disney, 6 years old to 14. I mean, give me a break. So this is Dan Schneider, and there he is smiling at the Nickelodeon Awards or the Kids Awards or whatever the hell they are with a bunch of the child actors that he's worked with. And here's an article on Dan Schneider as he left Nickelodeon, but it wasn't that quiet, but it really was. Because if the press had done their homework, the rumors and the conspiracy levels online might have panned out a little bit more information. I'm just going to show you some pictures of Dan here. And Dan, that girl, Jeanette McCurdy, her and another were on a show called iCarly. And that was one of the shows that the kids had already been watching. And it horrified me when at the end of this thing I saw Schneider's Bakery and I came to learn about some of the things. And this is an iCarly shot. Oh, this guy looks totally innocent. Oh, and look, Ariana Grande's on these shows that he produced. The superstar. The person that's probably promoted the most in the media out of the Disneyites these days. Oh, he doesn't look like a creep bag there, just, you know, touching young children that are barely 13 years old. Nothing there, no. Oh, I'm not uncomfortable. Oh, Dan's touching me again. Oh, Ariana Grande again. Yeah, that photo does not scream save me right now. I'm not even going to get into the weird foot stuff and the posts that this man has made, but I don't know about you. I would never let my daughter, sister, child, I had no idea who they were, near this monster. That's me. And this is him at Head of the Class. I don't even know who this young girl is or who this person is, but look where Dan's hand is. I want to vomit. I want to vomit. So getting back to Jeanette McCurdy, the co-star of iCarly, and him and her, let's go back to an old video she posted, a 7-second Instagram. It's pretty odd.
Hey, Dan Schneider. I know you're watching my Vine. Do you like my Vine? Fine. Look what you've done to me.
What in the world was that? That doesn't scream creepy. That doesn't scream we should be investigating this guy and others. Bella Thorne saying on television how it is, how from the ages of 6 to 14, let's repeat it together, 6 and 14, She was being molested, and everybody around her knew about it and did nothing. And did nothing. This girl, she's probably around 9 or 10 there, so she's gone through a good hardcore 3 or 4 years of abuse. Why is this not headlines everywhere? Where is the Me Too movement? Well, did they ever really exist in the first place? They're there to co-opt real stories like this one. And it was amidst that, that Schneider got to quietly walk away from Nickelodeon. Well, these scandals are real, and they are still going on today. And we've got to make sure that we don't endorse this shit. This is unreal. This is unfathomable to most. They don't understand. Where do most of these people come from? Think about it. Where do they come from? Where do the Timberlakes of the world? We talked about Jamie Lynn Spears. Where do you think Britney came from? They have been pumping out, tween and teenage celebrities now for how long? 30 years, 40 years, 50 years? On the regular. I remember when the Disney Channel was one of those first 50 channels, those new cable channels, and we couldn't wait to get it as a kid. And you just had no idea what was actually happening to these children. It's insane, it's upsetting, it's disturbing, and it's something that needs to be talked about way more because it's just not talked about, and it makes me sick. It makes me sick. It should make you guys sick. How do we allow this? How do we endorse this with our kids? How do you have a conversation with your child after watching something like this and say, maybe this isn't the best show when you see that Schneider's Bakery logo at a Nickelodeon show? Maybe we shouldn't be watching this. Maybe it's not the right thing to do. Guys, if you're not subscribed and you like this material, we do a lot more. We do things on Assange, Dershowitz, Google, the NSA, real politics. We're not left or right here. We're about right and wrong. Epstein, Nexium, and more. Please subscribe, thumbs this video up, share it, ring the bell for notifications, but you might as well just star it. We're doing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos a day. I'll be doing a Nexium one coming up. Thank you so much, Port Film Co-op. Why is this really part of the Me Too? If anything, the sexualization of women has gotten worse. You're not wrong, but we're not even talking about women here. We're talking about children, and that's what makes me want to hurl. Guys, I'm doing this on my own. I have a GoFundMe. One-time donations are welcome. We have about $1,700 of the $5,000 goal and about 15 or 16 days left in this month. Like I've said, if we can raise more than $5,000, I'll be going on location at least once a month and doing stories there. But really, what am I doing? I'm doing 30 to 50 quality videos a week about real topics like the one you just saw that get buried by the headlines in the media. Buried by the headlines in the media, and we talk about real issues here. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to be doing that Nexium video rather shortly, so I'll see you guys on the flip side.